Have you ever gone through the period of crushing onto someone? I believe that most of you have done it. So, do you know something about ambiguity periods? I believe that most of you have seen or heard some messages saying, "Are we dating or just friends? Does he like me back, or am I just imagining it? We kissed, but now he's acting distant. What does it mean? I like him and he probably likes me too. Should I ask him about it?" That feeling of uncertainty is actually the ambiguity of love, and it does something wild to our minds. Today, I'm going to bring you a story to get you into a deeper understanding of this ambiguity period. I have a friend named Juliana, and when we were in our 9th grade, she got a crush named Jack. They are classmates, and she noticed him because he was really handsome and was talented in math. Soon they started chatting online, from how to solve this math problem to do you watch the new Anime episode. Their chat box quickly became the most pinned conversation on Julie's phone. Jack would send her a silly cheer up sticker after exams, and she would send him a simple good luck before his basketball games. They chat until midnight and wonder what each other is trying to convey with every single moment they post. That is exactly what the early ambiguous stage of a relationship feels like. The reasons behind these actions are about dopamine, one of the primary mechanisms of addiction, and intermittent reinforcement, a theory from American psychologist B.F. Skinner. In the ambiguity periods, every sign up "he might like me" is a kind of potential unpredictable reward. And when our brains are expecting for these unpredictable rewards, our brains will release dopamine, which is also the same chemical that causes gambling addiction. Besides, intermittent reinforcement tells us that behaviors are more durable and persistent when reinforced on an unpredictable schedule rather than consistently. In the ambiguity periods, rewards such as encounters on the hallways or compliment from crushes are usually not consistently received, so we can get obsessed with them easily. That can also explain why we check our phones so often, and just in case someone sent us a message. We're always waiting for the next little surprise. Julie and Jack sit next to each other in chemistry class. Sometimes, Jack would lean over and whisper, "Did you understand number 6?" And their shoulders would almost touch. Julie's heart would flip happily and excitedly. Other times, Jack would just give her a quick smile in the hallways, leaving her worried and confused. Julie couldn't stop wondering, what are we? It felt like a fog she couldn't see through. We once asked her, "So, do you two like each other or what?" And Julie always laughed it off, saying, "I don't know." We think that she finds more joy in being immersed in the possibility of love. However, that leads to another question. Why do we know that our crushes probably like us too, but still cannot take the initiative to find out the definite answer? This can actually be explained by the possibility principle introduced by Mel Schwartz, an American psychotherapist, author, and speaker. It tells us that the potential for something often feels sweeter than the certainty of it. Just like in the ambiguity periods. When we find something that is really attractive for us, we always want to find it. When we think something is possible, we will put effort in it to make it come true. However, when we think something is totally impossible, we will stop our actions. It's like a door that might be somewhere, but before finally seeing it, you first have to believe that it does exist. Just like what Julie does. When Julie isn't sure if Jack likes her or not, but every time going to school and meeting him feels wonderful because she always gets that possibility that Jack might fall in love with her at some moment. I bet many of you have felt the same way, or maybe you're feeling it right now. But apart from people who like this uncertainty, other people dislike it. Imagine yourself going through your WeChat moments. When you see your crushes sharing a song, you might seek for some hidden messages sending to you behind the lyrics. When you see that their profile picture has changed to a new anime character, you might wonder what's the meaning behind. And when you're in a chat and they suddenly disappear for 20 minutes, you might wonder if you made them angry or you did something wrong. These actions, which could somehow be really struggling for ourselves, actually comes from our brain's deep dislike of uncertainty, which is a theory from American decision theorist Daniel Ellsberg, telling us that when we don't have enough information, our brain rushes to fill in the blanks to reduce the ambiguity. We will be so desired to find the answer that we tend to use information we got before to fit into this situation and then using it to tell us a story. Just like what Julie did. When we're in the ambiguity periods, our brain will try to find out some problems and just fill in them with our past experiences. Just like the example given before, why haven't they replied? Your brain tends to generate a narrative based on your past experiences and insecurities in order to make you feel comfortable. So in the end, they will give you false information telling you that they ignored you because you upset them. So this sounds like a really strange thing. Why do we dislike the uncertainty but still hope for it? It's actually two different kinds of ways our brains react when we're exploring. The dislike for uncertainty acts like a kind of protection, keeping us away from potential danger by giving us the feelings of anxiety and discomfort, which will also lead to some false information generated to eliminate the discomfort. However, the possibility principle shows that our brains embrace more uncertainty to explore and create better answers. It's about curiosity, exploration, expectations, and growth, giving us more hope to find better futures. For people who like this period would say, defined relationships can bring either comfort or disappointment. But for people who feel tired about the anxiety, overthinking, and the feeling of losing control, they would dislike this uncertainty. It actually indeed shows how the uncertainty acts like a double-edged sword in our relationships. The ambiguity protects the dream that something amazing could happen anytime. However, we should also notice that we can't get worried and anxious during this period. In fact, the ambiguity period is neither a wilderness that we need to run away from, nor an enchanting paradise that we are endlessly lost. It's more like an inevitable path of psychologically growing up. What we get is never an answer of yes or no. We get more familiar to how our emotions work and affect us. We have the ability to embrace more possibilities, and we are able to see who we are and what we really wanted. Every story in our lives is not just an answer or just finding the results of something. It is more like a way that we force ourselves to find out who we are. Just like what Belgian-American psychologist Esther Perel says, love is not a safe place. Love is a happening. Only by being in it can you truly understand it. Thank you.